Gayathri Mridanga Puri.
Kiba Jaya Jaya Gora Chande Harati ko Shobha. Kiba Jaya Jaya Gora Chande Harati ko Shobha. Tatavane Jagamana Lobha Jagamana Lobha Dakhine Nitai Chan Pame Gadadhara Nitai Chan Vame Gadadhara Nikate Advaita Srini Vasachhatradharani Bosi Ache Gaurachan Ratna Simhasane Bosi Ache Gaurachan Ratna Simhasane Arati Korena Brahma Adi Devagane Arati Korena Brahma Adi Devagane Narahari Adi Kori Chamaradulaya Narahari Adi Kori Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Ghosha Adigaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Ghosha Adigaya Sankha Baje Ghanta Baje Baje Karatala Sankha Baje Ganta Baje Baje Karatala Madhur मृदंग बाजे परम रसाल मधुर मृदंग बाजे शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल बहु कोटि चंद्र जिने वदन उज्ज्वल बहु कोटि चंद्र जिने वदन उज्ज्वल बहु कोटि चंद्र वदन गल देशे बनमाला होरे जलमाला गल देशे बनमाला शिव सुख नारद प्रेम गद गद शिव सुख भक्ति विनोद देखे गौरर संपद भक्ति विनोद देखे गौरर गौरंगे आरती शोभा जग जन माना लोभा गौरंगे आरती शोभा जग जन माना लोभा जग जन मन लोभा जग जन मन लोभा गौरंगे आरती शोभा जग जन मन लोभा निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमो विष्णुपदाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशता जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे everybody हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Hare. Everybody, please sing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshmana Hanuman, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Jai Gaurang Nitai, Gaurang Nitai, Gaurang Nitai, Jaya Gaurang Nitai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhu, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Deva, Jaya Gurudeva. श्री श्री राधा गोकुलानंद भगवान की जय, श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जी की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर हरि बोल। नमस्ते नरसिंहाय, नमस्ते नरसिंहाय, प्रहलाद लाददायिने, हिरण्यकशिपूर्वक्षः, हिरण्यकशि शीलतांका नखालाय, हितो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह, हितो नरसिंह, यतो यतो ह्यामि ततो नरसिंह, बाहिर नरसिंह हृदय नरसिंह, बाहिर नरसिंह हृदय नरसिंह, नरसिंह मदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये, नरसिंह मदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये, कमलवरे नाखा अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकश्यपु तनुभृंगा केशवधृता नरहरि रूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमलवरे केशवधृता हरिरूपा जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज श्री नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय भक्तराज प्रहलाद महाराज की जय
Thank you. Nice arty.
Have you played this tune before?
He's a bass. No, I just was listening to you. Thank you. Thank you for leading us. It was great arty. Thank you.
Hasina.
Yeah.
I don't know if I recognize this tune.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Oh, okay, fine. I do recognize that.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Really, yeah.
I'll try.
So, yeah. Slow, yeah, so. We're gonna sing them. Yeah, I'll just sing them. Yeah, you can. I made it. I basically recorded myself playing carousels on a loop, and so it's I can change the tempo, make it a little faster as well. It's open line.
Oh, nice.
And I've got it set up to do double speed as well, so it's had it. It's better on a better speaker. I got a Bluetooth speaker that has good bass, you can hear the muranga. And go back to medium.
Oh, that's so lit. And you made that yourself?
I just made it, yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the best things I've ever done. Yeah.
Let's slow it down a little bit. You got it, man. Smash it. tell me the verse.
Persian, but who's giving the Gita class?
Mataji's waiting.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, no, well done.
Yeah, thank you. So I need to learn the Megan Gita.
Yeah. I'll show you, sure. That'll be even more
No, seriously, I can't do it because now Abby's coming and I don't want to get shouted at. But I've been practicing this whole thing.
We need to move on.
Yeah. Should I bring the VSSM as well? Should I set up the VSSM as well? You sure?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, now we can go upstairs because the toilet's away.
So the test though, because I think my fiance, she's just finishing up garlands.
Jaya Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Prachajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prachajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So today we're reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 7. Okay, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Okay, do you have the Sanskrit there as well? Yeah, okay. So repeat after me. Matsa parataram nanyad.
I just need to find the text.
Okay, sure.
Just 1 second. Number 4, hang on. Long verse, purpose.
Okay. Matsa parataram nanyad. Matsa parataram nanyad. Kinchid asti dhananjaya. Kinchid asti dhananjaya. Mayi sarvam idam protam. Mayi sarvam idam protam. Sutre mani gana iva.
Tremani Gana Iva.
Sutre mani gana iva.
Sutramani Gana Iva.
Okay, so would you like to try?
Mutiparatam Nayat.
Matsa paratam nanyat.
Kinchidasti Dhananjaya.
Kinchirasti dhananjaya.
Mai Sarvamitam Protam.
Mai sarvamitam protam.
Tremani Gana Iva.
Sutre mani gana iva. Okay, so word for word. Mata,
Mata.
beyond me.
Beyond myself.
Okay. Parataram,
Parataram.
superior.
Superior.
Na,
Na.
not. Anyat kinchit,
Kinchit.
anything else.
Anything else.
Asti,
Asti.
there is.
There is.
Dhananjaya,
Dhananjaya.
O conqueror of wealth.
Conqueror of wealth.
Mayi, in me. Sarvam, all that be. Idam, which we see. Protam is strung. Sutre, on a thread. Manigana, pearls. Eva, like. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Ki Jai. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. Please repeat, O conqueror of wealth. There is no truth superior to me.
No truth superior to me.
Everything rests upon me
Everything rests upon me.
as pearls are strung on a thread.
Pearls are strung on a thread.
Purport. There is a common controversy over whether the Supreme Absolute Truth is personal or impersonal. As far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, the Absolute Truth is the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and this is confirmed in every step. In this verse in particular, it is stressed that the Absolute Truth is a person. That the personality of Godhead is the Supreme Absolute Truth is also the affirmation of the Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha. That is, the Supreme Absolute Truth, personality of Godhead, is Lord Krishna, who is the primeval Lord, the reservoir of all pleasure, Govinda, and the eternal form of complete bliss and knowledge. These authorities leave no doubt that the Absolute Truth is the Supreme Person, the cause of all causes. The impersonalist, however, argues on the strength of the Vedic version given in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad 3.10. Tato yad uttarataram tad arupam anamayam ya etad vida amritas te bhavanti ate tare dukham evapiyanti. In the material world, Brahma, the primeval living entity within the universe, is understood to be the supreme amongst the demigods, human beings, and lower animals. But beyond Brahma, there is the Transcendence, who has no material form and is free from all material contaminations. Anyone who can know him also becomes transcendental, but those who do not know him suffer the miseries of the material world. The impersonalist puts more stress on the word arupam. But this arupam is not impersonal. It indicates the transcendental form of eternity, bliss, and knowledge, as described in the Brahma Samhita quoted above. Other verses in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad 3.8-9 substantiate this as follows. Vedaham etam puram Sham Mahantam Adityavanam Tamasa Parastat Tam Eva Vidit Fati Mrityum Eti Nanya Panta Vidyate Yanaya Yasmat Paramna Param Asti Kinchit Yasmam Naniyo Nujayosti Kinchit Friksha Iva Stabdo Divit Tishtatyek Kas Tinedam Purnam Purushena Sarvam. I know that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to all material conceptions of darkness. Only he who knows him can transcend the bonds of birth and death. There is no way for liberation other than this knowledge of that Supreme Person. There is no truth superior to that Supreme Person, because he is the supermost. He is smaller than the smallest, and he is greater than the greatest. He is situated as a silent tree, and he illumines the transcendental sky. And as a tree spreads its roots, he spreads his extensive energies. From these verses, one concludes that the Supreme Absolute Truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is all-pervading by his multi-energies, both material and spiritual. Om Jnana Timirantasya Kinanjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sati Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastichada Satarane. So I'm going to get the cordless mic, and then if you want to say something, the people online can hear as well. I like to make it a bit interactive, so because I haven't had so much time to prepare, to be honest, so I thought I'd make it a little bit interactive. So this is quite a famous analogy here, this pearls being strung on a thread. Yeah, it's a really beautiful verse, very beautiful analogy. We can really imagine how Krishna's energy is working when we see it like this. So my understanding of the verse is Krishna is saying that there's no truth superior to me. So he's saying that everyone's looking for the truth actually, and we find it in different ways before we come to realize that truth is Krishna. And he's saying that actually it's me. The personal form of Krishna. Prabhupada stresses this in the purport. Me, he's saying me, that means the person Krishna, that is the ultimate truth that we're all looking for. And as I said, we're desperately trying to find it in different ways. And people find it, for example, some people, scientists will think that science is the absolute truth and they worship science. Artists will think that art, because that gives them so much pleasure and joy, and it's something that they can really work hard at, and they feel so much satisfaction, so they believe that that's the highest truth, and that's why they're doing it. Yeah. But actually, the source of all of these things, the source of any of the pleasure that we get out of any of these things is actually Krishna. He's created all of these different things. So yes, the truth behind any of these things is Krishna. And he's the only thing that is eternal. with any of these other fields, things come and go. Scientific theories, that always new theories are coming out. Oh, the old theory was wrong, actually. We've come up with this new idea that explains what the truth actually is. But, how do we know? How long is that theory going to last? And with art, there's, new movements, always different. And so, yes, but Krishna is saying here that actually he is the absolute truth. And then in the next sentence, everything rests upon me as pearls strung on a thread. So Krishna, everything is dependent on Krishna. Everything rests upon me. So anything, however anything is working in this material world and the spiritual world, everything, it always comes back to Krishna. Anything that's working, he is the ultimate origin of all of that. And I was thinking about how everything actually works so perfectly in the world, even just down to something like our bodies, For example, when we're hungry, our body gives us a signal that we're hungry, and so we know to eat, and then we eat, and our bodies just know how to digest the food, and etc. When we're tired, our body gives us a signal that, we're tired, and then we know to sleep. And everything is just, Krishna has created everything in such a way that it just all works, if that makes sense. And that's how I understand that everything rests upon me. That it's working by Krishna's direction and by his power and his potency, even in this material world, as pearls are strung on a thread. So that's the analogy, that's the way to visualize this idea that Krishna is the source and yes, everything is dependent on him. So if you imagine you can hold like a handful of pearls, if you drop them, they're just going to scatter everywhere and just be in complete disarray. But if I have a handful of pearls and there's a thread strung through them, if I drop it like that, it will turn into a beautiful form and it will be like a pearl necklace. And so this is the analogy that Krishna is using, that without him, we'll have all of these different elements and things, but nothing will actually work properly. And so anything that we see that is beautiful and that's working, actually the thing behind it is Krishna. So any beauty that we see in the world, sometimes we think, we see a beautiful landscape, beautiful scenery, beautiful nature, a beautiful person, and we think, that is beautiful. But actually, what is beautiful about that is actually Krishna. He's the one that's behind that beauty. He's created that beauty, and he's the beauty within that as well. People often give this analogy that, you're attracted to people, attracted to somebody's body, but who's attracted to a dead body? So actually it's not what the body looks like that we're attracted to, it's the soul within inside it, which is Paramatma, Krishna's, Krishna residing within our heart. That's actually what makes somebody's body beautiful. Do you have any reflections, or what was your understanding of this verse actually?
Yes, I think it's very...
Can you use the mic, just so people online can hear?
I think it's very beautiful, very poetic, and so Krishna is the core. He's the common core to everything, and I guess in some way all of the living entities could be seen as these pearls, couldn't they? That's quite a nice way to look at yourself as part of a greater whole. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So you're saying that actually each of these pearls could be seen as the different living entities or the different elements of Krishna's creation, and that's how it all kind of...
They're moving through. It's quite a nice way to the cycle of birth and rebirth.
Okay. Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. So that's very nice. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm just going to literally go through the purport line by line and just give my understanding, and then you can give any reflections if you like. Okay, so the first sentence, Prabhupada is explaining that there's this common argument between the personalists and the impersonalists. He says it's a controversy. So it's these two main schools of thought. The first is that the absolute truth is impersonal, and that is the highest, this impersonal Brahman. That's our ultimate goal, is to get to the impersonal Brahman and just merge with that. And the other school of thought, would you like to say something?
I was just going to say that would be which school then? That would be...
I mean, there's many schools within the impersonal understanding, actually. Yeah.
The ones with the three...
Oh, I don't know actually, but there's like the Brahmajyotis, I know, and then there's just so many different, there's different ones. And then the other path, which is the path that we're on, which is the personal, that actually the form of the Lord is the highest form, and that is the absolute truth, and that's what Krishna is saying in this verse. And then Prabhupada goes on to say that the Bhagavad Gita, as far as the Bhagavad Gita is concerned, the absolute truth is the personality of Godhead. And this is confirmed in every step. So he's just saying that at every point in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is confirming that he is the absolute truth.
Is it Shankaracharya?
Yes, so this is, this is the main kind of impersonalist. He established impersonalism, actually. I mean, he was very important also in establishing that God...
I think he had the three lines of tilak across,
okay.
I believe.
Probably, I don't actually know myself. But yeah, Sankaracharya was, yes.
I think he was also an incarnation of Shiva.
Yeah. Yeah. Prabhupada's just saying that Krishna, at every point in the Bhagavad Gita, he is saying, I am the absolute truth. My personal form, this is the highest truth. Okay, and then he's saying in this verse in particular is emphasizing that by saying that there is no truth superior to me. He's saying me, meaning my personal form. Okay. And then Prabhupada also references the Brahma Samhita, this very famous verse, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. And this also states that Krishna is a person, the absolute truth is a person, the primeval Lord. So that's important, primeval. I understand primeval to mean, you can't trace the origin. So it means that Krishna is, originless.
Nothing goes further back.
Exactly, yeah, thank you. Yeah, nothing goes further back than Krishna. The reservoir of all pleasure, so anything that we can enjoy, that comes from him. The eternal form of complete bliss and knowledge. So it's an eternal form. So God has an eternal form. That's really important. The Mayavad, or the impersonal theory, that the ultimate truth is impersonal. Actually, the theory is that we have a personality and a form because of our conditioned nature, that actually only in our conditioned state we have a form. But once we realize the supreme truth, then we lose our form, we lose our personality, and we merge into the Brahman. Yeah, please.
I think the great thing about personalism is, as a bhakta, you can form a relationship with a person. You have a relationship with your mother. A relationship with your brother or your sister,
exactly.
Because Krishna as a person, you can also have a relationship, and that means it's easier to love a person than it is to love an energy or
Exactly. Thank you so much. So you were making the point that it makes sense that God would be a person, because how can you love something that's not a person? We have relationships, for example, with our mother, our brother, friend, actually everyone, that we meet, we develop a relationship. So how can the absolute truth be something impersonal, something kind of distant? It seems very cold almost, I think, is what you were trying to say. And yeah, this is definitely true. And anyone that goes to the Brahmajyoti will always come back. And I remember someone saying that somebody asked Prabhupada, why do people fall from the Brahmajyoti? And Prabhupada was thinking so many philosophical things. How do I explain this to this girl? And he just said simply, because they get lonely. And it's because it is lonely. It's like super peaceful. There's no suffering really. But you get lonely. We, by our nature, we need some relationship.
We thrive in relations.
Absolutely. But sometimes we're scared of it because we have some bad experience. Because relationships are so variegated. They can be painful. Terrible things can happen when we have relationships as well. But actually, that's because of our conditioned
This
state.
is the one relationship that it's worth risking it all for.
Yeah, and this is the perfect relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so let's carry on a little bit. These authorities leave no doubt that the absolute truth is the supreme person, the cause of all causes. I think that's just reiterating what we've already gone over. And then Prabhupada actually, he explains that the impersonalists, they have their own evidence. But then he's refuting that by, he's explaining the words that they are stressing, this arupam, that's the word that the impersonalists use to prove, in inverted commas, that the supreme truth has no form. Rupa means form, arupa means no form. But actually, Prabhupada is then, I think even the way he translates it, is it? That it means no material form, basically. It's not that there's no form at all, but the Supreme Lord has no material form. He's not anything to do with material form. His form is purely spiritual. Yeah. Okay. This arupam is not impersonal. It indicates that the transcendental form of eternity, form of eternity, bliss, and knowledge. So that's another other qualities about Krishna's form. They're full of eternity, bliss, and knowledge. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Satchitananda. Like the Brahma Samhita, which he already referred to. And then Prabhupada's giving us even more evidence. So this purport, you can really see Prabhupada's just presenting it in such a scholarly way. He's really using Shastra to argue and establish this point that the Supreme Lord is a person. And so this is very good for us if we ever get faced with someone who's maybe questioning that or arguing that. We can say, actually, in Shastra it says this, this, and this. So this is a very useful tool by Prabhupada he's given us. And then he's giving us some more evidence here from this Upanishad. Which is saying, I know that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to all conceptions of darkness, only he who knows him can transcend the bonds of birth and death. So we have to know Krishna. And with a person, you have to know them to really get close to them. And so we have to know Krishna to be able to get close to him and have a relationship with him, and then we'll have the desire to actually be with him. And therefore that will help us, obviously, to reach the ultimate goal. And it's saying there is no way for liberation other than this knowledge.
I just want to add that, that happens in other relationships also, right?
Okay.
You get introduced to somebody, and then you learn a bit more about them, and the more you learn about them, the more you get to like them. So, to read about Krishna's leelas and things like that, that's you get to know Krishna.
Okay, thank you very much. So you're saying that the the more that you know about someone, the more you develop attraction for that person. You know, you get introduced, maybe you don't know very much, but still, it's at least you know them. It's the same with Krishna, you know, at least we've been introduced to Krishna, and now it's our task to try and develop a deeper, more meaningful relationship with him. And with a person, that means, you know, speaking to them, spending time with them, and so in the same way, yeah.
Comes with the morning class.
Yes.
Right? We obviously the Bhagavad Gita is the ABC, right? And then you know the next thing to do is to study Bhagavad Gita. Sorry, it's just the Srimad Bhagavatam, because that then you know it gives us it really tells us about Krishna in his entirety.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
But actually, one of the recommendations that I've been giving to people is, you know, spend a little time with the Krishna book, because you get an introduction into the 10th canto in a very summarized way.
Yeah.
So it's a nice way if you want to get a sort of a sample of Krishna's Leelas.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. So you're saying that you're giving the different ways that we can get to know Krishna. So morning class, morning program, chanting as well. That's should be our like quality time with Krishna. No one else should be. I mean, it's very difficult for most of us to focus completely on Krishna during chanting, but it should be quality time with Krishna, like we're just phoning him up, and all our attention is focused on that conversation with Krishna, and we're developing that relationship with Krishna. And then you're explaining about the Krishna book as well. To know about his Leelas really helps us to develop attraction for him. Yes, thank you. And then there is no truth superior to that Supreme Person, because he is the supermost. Again, reiterating that the personality is the topmost. He is smaller than the smallest, and he is greater than the greatest. So yeah, these are some of Krishna's potencies. He is as a silent tree, and he illumines the transcendental sky. And as a tree spreads its roots, he spreads his extensive energies. So again, it's just explaining, you know, the different kind of beautiful things of Krishna. Do you have any reflections on?
Yeah, I'm just thinking that mirrors a little bit the 10th chapter with the there's a tree that a banyan tree which goes upside
chapter
down.
15.
Is it chapter 15?
Yeah, where the roots are, yeah. Let me read it actually for you. Beginning of chapter 15, I believe.
That's in quotes, right? So is that so that comes from the so that's for Upanishad.
Yeah, this is all from the Upanishad, yeah. Yeah, because it's quite a long quote. It gives us a long quote there. Yeah. It said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. Yeah, he spreads his extensive energies, it's saying, as a tree spreads its roots. Yeah, it's another nice analogy. So I'll just read the last sentence and then we'll wrap up. From these verses, one concludes that the Supreme Absolute Truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is all-pervading by his multi-energies, both material and spiritual. So again, Prabhupada's just really reiterating in this verse again and again that the Supreme Lord is a person. All-pervading by his multi-energies, so he's referring, Krishna has many energies, impersonal energies also, that are pervading this entire material universe and spiritual universe as well. This effulgence is everywhere. He is all-powerful. Do you have any final reflections comments? No? Okay, we'll wrap up. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's 8:30. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you. I do, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I started to give class myself a little,
Oh, really?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. You gave class in here before?
Sorry?
You gave class in here?
No, I haven't given class here. I live in Munich. We only do Sunday programming really at the moment. But just before I left, I gave a class.
Oh.
Really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
They were more impressed.